Welcome, everyone. I'd like to call to order this Henderson County Board of Education regular meeting. Today is April 16th, 2018. If we could have a moment of silence. And we had a bus accident the other day, and as usual, our first responders are right there when we need them. And we've had incidents at our schools lately, and our police force and our firemen and our safety people are all right there at a minute's notice. So can we please keep them in our thoughts and prayers? They do hard work for us every day. Thank you all. Mr. Brian Bailey, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sir. Moving on to the agenda, has everyone had a chance to review it? Are there any changes before we approve it? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as listed. Thank you, Mr. West. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Dr. So. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Agenda set. Moving on to student and staff recognition, Ms. Morgan.
Thank you. Good evening to you all. Again, this evening we have several amazing students to recognize board members, and we're going to start with our April Judges Scholar. This month, the Judges Scholar is from South Heights Elementary, Trajan Davis. If you would come forward, please. To meet the judge executive? Not yet. When do you go? Tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a fantastic day in Henderson County, and the judge will read a proclamation, and he probably will claim tomorrow as your day across the whole county, Henderson County. But for us to learn a little bit about you, we're going to ask Mr. Carroll to come up and tell us a little bit why you chose Trajan, please.
All right. And you know, I love all my kids, so it's not easy. But it really was pretty easy this year because when we think about Trajan, you know, South Heights, we believe we stand for a lot of things, and that's good character, and that's someone that's dependable and loyal and brings everything to the table. You can tell he's a pretty good-looking kid, but he's also really smart, and he's also very athletic, and he's on our academic team. I think the only thing he doesn't do for us is our arts, and it probably just doesn't fit into the schedule. But the thing I like most about Trajan is he's kind of a watcher and a listener, and he pays attention to things that maybe some kids don't pay attention to, and I know he's getting it, and I really expect really big things from him. So I thought he'd exemplify us in the biggest and best way.
Amazing leader in your building, Mr. Carroll. Really important people with you. Would you introduce who is with you tonight?
My mom, she's right there. And then my dad, my brother, and then my aunt is behind me.
Thank you all so much for being here tonight. We have awarded Trajan with our Medal of Excellence, as we do for all students that have outstanding leadership in the Henderson County Schools. So can I have a picture with you? Thank you. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful day tomorrow. Thank you. Next up, we would like to recognize 2 first place winners at our state STLP competition. And to share with you a little bit about what the state STLP competition is, I'm going to have Mr. Gordon come up first. And as he's making his way up, could I have 2 students from Gate, Allison Rideout and Amari Tapp, come up, please?
Hello, The STLP competition is a student technology leadership program. So across the state of Kentucky, students across the state are invited to participate in this program. Then they put projects together. They submit them earlier in the year in regionals or in what we call DPOJ, Digital Project Online Judging. And this year, there were about 14,000 students that competed in the state competition across about 40 different categories, representing about 500 different schools and about 100 plus districts. So I'm going to have Ms. Carter talk a little bit about these two fine young ladies.
Okay, so I'm Ms. Carter, and I'm a third grade teacher at Bengate, and this is actually our first year to do STLP at Bengate. They used to do it a long time ago, but I started it back this year. So this year's goal was just to kind of get the hang of it and see if we knew what we were doing. So we went ahead and waited a little bit and did the online project, and we actually got 49 out of 50 points for that, which qualified them for state. And then we went ahead and submitted that as well and ended up with first place. So these girls, we have 7 students in our club, and these two ladies actually volunteered to do this. I said, who would like to do it? They both volunteered. They worked extra days in order to get it accomplished. So they did a great job. So our STLP group, we decided to do a service learning project this year, and they decided to do chemo buddies here in town. And not only did they collect items, but this project reflected our project that we were doing as a club. And basically the topic was cancer, of course. We made sure that we included chemo buddies in that project as well. We had staff members in our building who have gone through chemo. We put them in the project too. And then they had to, of course, typed a 3-page paper on how they did the whole process. So that's how they came about.
We're very proud of you ladies, and congratulations. Now share with us, you probably brought some support folks with you.
I brought my mom and my sister.
My mom and sister ready, waiting for it. There she is. Lauren,
Nina and
Nana, and thank you ladies so much for being here tonight. Thank you. Next, we'd like to recognize 2 students at North Middle School. And you might have possibly read about these students in the newspaper because it was a big deal. We had a visitor from the state come and award first place and third place for the Secretary of State slogan contest. So could I have Kylie Titzer and Ryan Holly come forward, please? Sure, yeah. Then I'd also like to ask Mr. Gardner, teacher at North Middle School, please come forward. And Ms. Turnus, if you would also come forward, please. So both of these students are in Mr. Gardner's social studies class, right? That is correct. And Ms. Turnus has had some long history in working with this writing project, so we'd like to recognize her also. But tell me a little, Ryan, tell me a little bit about what you did to receive $400.
well, Miss Turnus was substituting that day, and she told us about the contest, and like, we could have done that. I can't remember if this before or after I worked, but it was like something to kind of get out of work, so I figured might as well. And I could win money. And so I thought that it's to encourage people to vote. So I thought that you shouldn't, like, people, like, kind of like to complain about who's in office and stuff. But I don't really think you should, like, almost be allowed to complain if you don't vote. That's why I think it's very important.
Now we know why we got it. Very great. Congratulations. All right, and Kylie was a $1,000 winner in the same contest. So they are state winners, first place and third place across the state. So tell us a little bit about your project, Kylie.
Okay, well, I thought it was really important to vote. Hey, I know a little bit about politics, so I might as well give it a try. And I thought it was really important to be informed about the candidate you're voting for.
Absolutely. Amazing job. And Mr. Gardner or Ms. Turnus, would you all like to add anything about the contest?
Well, my big contribution was I was absent. Called Ms. Turnus to sub. But we have spent some time talking about democracy and, of course, communism as well in countries that don't have a voice in their government. So we did emphasize, how important it is here in the United States to get out and take part in elections and things like that. So I was happy when she told me that she was going to do that. It's something that we've done before in my class. I think we had a winner about 2 or 3 years ago as well. So I'd like to keep that tradition going, and not sure if I get any of this. So, it's all right. I'm real proud of both of them.
This is the 4th time that North Carolina School has won the slogan contest, and the 2nd time in the history of the contest that 2 students from the same school won. So we were very excited, and we were excited to have Secretary of State Nancy Grimes, and she was extremely complimentary of the students and our whole student body. So I'm glad I was there.
Seems like a great collaboration between a writing teacher and a social studies teacher, and the students benefit. So that's fantastic. Now, I think you all have some guests. Brian, tell me who you have with you tonight.
I have my mom and my little brother.
Thank you all for being here. Kylie, who do you have tonight?
I have my mother, Amy.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Can we scrunch together and get a picture? The last 4 students we would like to recognize come from our high school, and every year we have anywhere from 15 to 20, sometimes up to 25 students who apply for the Governor's Scholar Program. And this is a very lengthy process. The students have to apply, they have to write an essay, they have to list all of their things that they're involved in, whether it's extracurricular activity or it's a service learning project or it's youth groups outside of the school day. And we are very fortunate in Henderson County to be able to recognize 4 students. And we just received a message Friday of who the 4 students would be. And so I would like to please have come forward Kate Kelsey. Congratulations, Kate. Dakota Banks, Alexander Chandler, and Harrison Jenkins. To share just a little bit of why this is important to you. Why did you apply for the Judges Scholar more than your parents told you had to? How's it important to you? I'm gonna let Kate start.
So for me, I heard a whole bunch of people talking about it and how life-changing it was in their academic life, and how they went to this camp and then it gave them a huge perspective change on what they wanted to do with their life.
So I did it for kind of the same reason, except some of my friends were like, hey, you should do this. It was really fun. We had a good time. Also helps with college. So I was like, all right, might as well. Yeah.
Here you are.
Yeah, I saw all these people talking about how great GSP was, so I decided, hey, I want to do that, and it happened. And also it helps at college.
Well, I don't know if I can be as articulate as my friend here, but like I said, it's really good on college applications, so of course that's nice. And I always hear of other of our upperclassmen friends have always said like the friends that they meet there, they're always meeting with them like on reunions and stuff, and they still like communicate with them every day. And, I don't know, it seemed like a really nice life-changing experience.
Each one of you received the Medal of Excellence. And I will share with you, this is one year that I had the opportunity to read through all of the different applications. We submitted 21, I believe, 21 or 22 this year, and we had 4 winners from Henderson County High School. Some school districts submit that many. They don't even have a person that they acknowledge as a winner. So these students not only have strong academics, but they carry very strong character with them. They're being a little modest. They're very involved in their school, involved in their church. Things outside in the community are all on their resume and throughout their application. And they all had to spend time writing an essay to be able to be a part of the Judges Scholar. So we want to say congratulations to you all. Wear that Medal of Excellence in pride. We really are proud that you are part of our leadership team at the Henderson County High School. Now, you also have to introduce who came with you. Yeah, all right. Kate, who's with you tonight?
I have my mother, my grandmommy, and my father.
Wonderful. Would you all stand, please, and be recognized? Judges Scholar is a big thing. And stay standing. Stay standing. Keep going.
All right, so I got my dad over there,
Yes,
my
please
mom,
stand.
my grandfather, my sister, and also want to give a shout out to my 6th grade homeroom teacher, Steve Garner. I haven't spoken to him in years.
Let's see.
Stay standing, guys.
Yeah, we got my dad, we got my mom, and a huge shout out to Steve Gardner, my homeroom 6th grade teacher. I've also got my mom and my dad, except this time I've got my 6th grade homeroom teacher, Mr. Gardner, over there, my hero.
Mr. Gardner, you might as well stand with me.
I love you people.
I want to make sure I say thank you for all you do in supporting your child's education. Thank you all very much. Let's get a picture. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board.
Thank you all. Y'all are more than welcome to stay, but if you need to leave us this evening because you have other obligations, we totally understand. But these students that were recognized this evening, that's the reason why we all do what we do, and that's the reason our teachers do what they do. So thank you all very much. Moving on to public participation in recognition of guests. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board this evening? Also have some student ambassadors, if you all would stand up. Michaela Watkins, Alexi Odell, Reed Mattingly, and John Logan. Thank you all for joining. Moving on to approving the minutes from the prior meeting, because everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the March 19th regular meeting. Are there any changes or additions? Okay, with that change to last month's minutes, can we get approval of those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. You're going to be faster tonight, right? Thank you. Tracy seconded it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Those of y'all out there don't know what's going on. It's an argument or fight between who's going to say the the motion to get us to adjourn, and Mike's usually fastest, and she keeps trying to speed up, but it's not planned, so. Okay, moving on to reports. First one is capital projects. John Hagan. Approved purchase power agreement for Spotsville Elementary.
Okay, so this is the agreement between the district and Kennergy to provide electrical service to the new Spotsville Elementary School. You're probably familiar with, they do require upfront payment to come set the pole, drop the wire to the gear to provide the permanent power.
So this is to get our pole up and purchase up, electricity up to our new building, because we already have power in Spotsville.
Correct.
Okay. Will we cancel the other one when the other school's taken down?
That's right.
Okay, cool. Look for a motion to approve the agreement between Henderson County Board of Education and Kennergy. Because they need it now, and there's not lights up there yet. Oh, when it gets time to, yes. So is that your motion?
That is.
That's your motion. All right, and Mike's going to second it. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Turn on the lights. Also, approve a change order for change order BG 15-1016.
This is 4 separate change orders, 2 of which go together. 22-8-1 to Dixie Light is a credit of $67,890, and 26-3 to State Electric is a credit of $3,834. This is a proposal request that came, this is PR number 1, but because of the electrical contractor situation, we had to wait until we got State Electric involved to get their portion of this credit. This is to delete from the scope motorized shades in the building, except for the ones in the gym. Those are remaining. So one of the things we were tasked with was trying to find some value engineering items, and this was one of the ones that came up early on in the project. We just haven't had a chance to bring it to you until this point with the new electrical contractor.
Does anyone have any questions about that? I got one question, John. It says that Hanover's only paying the board the $243,577 reflected.
27-4.
Yes, there's a $275, so there's a difference of $31,981, but yet that's a credit.
That was a
explain it to me.
Right. Change order 27-1, which we approved last month, had a misprint in it. The dollar figures were correct, which was a misprint on the actual change order. So this is correcting that mistake. So it is a credit back to the contract. That makes any sense. Hanover, the original change order reflected an incorrect amount that Hanover was paying, reimbursing for. This is fixing that mistake.
Okay.
And then the last one is 26-4. This is an ad to change to the owner-preferred fire alarm panel, which matches the other schools in the district. When the job was bid, ADE does not allow you to single-source spec materials, so we had to bid it with an open spec. This allows you to have the same fire alarm panel as you have in the other schools.
Any questions on any of those? So these all, we need one motion to recommend all of them, is that correct? We do one for all of them?
Probably wouldn't hurt them individually.
They can do them individually, okay. Okay, so we need a motion to approve change order BG 15-016 22-8-1. I hear a motion to that effect. Thank you. I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Approve BG 15-016 order 26-3. I hear a motion to that effect. Thank you, Ms. Tracy. Do I hear a second? I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Motion to approve BG 15-016 order 26-4. Your motion to that effect, please. Thank you. Do I hear a second? I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Motion for BG 15-016, order 27-4. Okay, and there is a second? I'll second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. There's all of your change orders.
Just to give you a real quick,
Okay.
update on your contingency, even though we've had the unsuitable soils, the oil seam and whatnot, you actually have a greater contingency now than you did when you started the project. You started with $766,762, and with the approval of those, it gets you up to $800,436.65. So you actually have a totally intact contingency plus those. So that's good news.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I think
Keep building, we'll keep saving.
yeah. On a project of this size, that's remarkable, to say the least, so that's good. Just to give you a real quick update on the status of everything, had a pretty good month. All things considered, last week especially, was the first full week we've gotten in, without losing a day of weather in quite some time. Today didn't work out very well, but the rest of this week looks pretty favorable. Production's getting better. We're averaging over 50 men a day on the site, and that's going to increase this week. We're getting our third masonry contractor to the job site probably Wednesday of this week. So when those guys get here, we'll probably have roughly 30 men working on the masonry work along it. So that's really going to help things. Windows are going in just as quick as the brick can get laid. They're fabricating in Owensboro, just waiting on Randall to make a phone call that they're ready to put in. So those are on standby. Roofer had a pretty good week last week. Putting the decking on the building took quite a bit longer than we anticipated. But hopefully they have roughly 40% of the two-story classroom wing in the dry now. So hopefully by the end of next week we'll have the remainder in the dry with the shingle starting. So that's the plan there. Mechanical, electrical is in really good shape. It's further along than it should be at this stage, to be honest. We hope to get the final plumbing roughing inspection this week, and should have the sprinkler system roughing completed this week in the entire building. The painter is working everywhere he's available, primarily the gym and the cafeteria right now. The kitchen equipment supplier will be on site Tuesday next week to install the freezer and cooler. So once that goes in, the ceramic tile work will begin. So that's the goal right now, is to get our finished work started. We had our progress meeting this morning, and two major takeaways from that were continuing the finish work. We need to get some temporary enclosures built, some temporary ventilation, and some humidity control in the building. Drying out the block so the painter can paint, drying out the floors so the floor coverings can get going. That's a big goal now, so that's going to start tomorrow, actually. The other thing, obviously, is the site work. Between now and the 30th, you'll be seeing all those trailers out front disappear, with the exception of ours. Probably we'll relocate it. But we've got to get out of the way so Hazex can start their site grading. So in front of the building. The front parking lot has to be in place between now and this summer. And as much of the rear parking lot has to be in place between now and August. So that when the switch from the existing building to the new building takes place, there's parent pickup, bus salute, all that is accounted for. So we're continuing to move forward, but we are preparing to start school in the existing building. So we've got to be prepared for that in all cases. So we had a meeting following our regular meeting with those players today. And everyone understands that life is much easier to get you into this building as soon as it can. The degree of difficulty to complete the work is much greater once you're not in their box. So continue to move forward, but we are taking steps to be prepared. And again, it's not finished in August. So I want people to be aware of that.
What's the update on the geothermal?
They have, including today, we'll get 42 wells completed. So that leaves 8 more to go in this front parking lot. So a couple more days, 3 more days, they should be out of the way. And they have time to look at it. They were shut down from Tuesday last week. The rig broke down, but they're back drilling today. So they've actually done a pretty good job, to be honest.
Moving on to the BG4s and BG5s for the archery building parking lot. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sydney, this one's yours.
We need to get approval on the BG4 and 5 to be able to close out the archery building parking lot.
Any questions, board members?
Make a motion we accept BG's as presented.
BG4 and BG5 with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Archery building complete, thank you. Moving on to technology, Mr. Bryan.
Madam Chair and members of the board, thank you for having me tonight to provide you with an update for technology in Henderson County Schools. We've been blessed in Henderson County Schools to have strong support in the implementation of technology, both instructionally and from the technical side. Just a brief, two things you'll have in front of you tonight. You'll have an update that I'm going to present to you. You'll also have the 2018-2019 Educational Technology Plan to approve, and that will go to the State Department for next school year. A quick rundown about our department. We support 13 schools in 3 other locations. Some numbers that have really skyrocketed in the last couple of years are 4,647 Chromebooks, 3,663 Windows devices, those are laptops, desktops, etc., 1,023 iPads, and we do that with 10 technical support staff, 2 instructional technology staff, and we have some school technology assistants who tend our computer labs in our elementary schools. So.
I just think that deserves a round of applause.
We do have a great team supporting that equipment, and you know, as we get along in this presentation, we'll talk about things that are moving forward at such a rapid pace now with the implementation of technology and all the devices that require technology to operate. The world of IT now has its hands in all of our phone systems, our HVAC systems, our security systems, access control. We call it the Internet of Things for a reason. Everything wants to connect to the Internet. So, second slide there. This is a roadmap that you're all familiar with, and Mr. Gordon and myself worked collaboratively to put this together and present this to you several years ago. And this is the roadmap that we've really been following for our one-to-one implementation. Some good news on that front is that we're ahead of schedule. Next year we were scheduled to have grades 5 through 12 fully one-to-one, but we're going to be able to include 4th grade next year. So allowing us to pull, because of some of the early pilot programs we had at the high school, we're going to be able to pull those devices out. The devices for the high school have been ordered, so we'll have those to get ready to roll out for next school year this summer. And we will be able to put devices in the hands of our 4th grade students as well. So next year we will be 4 to 12 one-to-one. Extremely proud of that. A lot of folks behind the scenes working hard to get that job done. Once again, kudos to the support of the board, our superintendent. We've had a lot of work happen in the last year and a half to increase our capabilities to support that one-to-one program. We finished a project, if you want to head to the next slide there, Ms. Robin. We upgraded our entire network infrastructure, and that was a massive, massive project. 460 wireless access points, 182 network switches, 2 routers. I know those just seem like numbers, but there's a lot of work that goes into that. That was all done after the school year had started, so that was evening work, after hours, weekend work, etc. So I can't commend our team enough on what they did to accomplish that. A lot of it's in the ceiling and a lot of it in the data closets, so can be some nasty environments to work in. One of the things that I'm really proud of, and Mr. Gordon has led a tremendous effort in our Google Cloud migration. And I call it the death of the U drive. And I've caught some flack over that, but it's really getting us in the right direction. It's not only saves the district money by utilizing free resources offered by Google for education, but it also helps us move into a direction where we're introducing our students to a world where they can work collaboratively using the resources that are not only available tomorrow, but are emerging constantly. Google is on the forefront of that ever-evolving technology. They're introducing new services every day, and it's amazing what our students have the capability to look at today as far as their experiences are concerned. Next slide there. Our initiatives continued. Like I said earlier, IT really touches every scope and aspect of what we do from a backside perspective. 160 security cameras have since been deployed in the last 2 years. Our access control and our secure entrances have grown and continue to grow. Mr. Steiner and I are working closely together with a group now to look at expanding access control at the high school level. Safe alerts is something we put in a while back with a product called Go Guardian. And what that does is it allows us to monitor the usage on the Chromebooks. We can set up predetermined actions based on certain things that are certain triggers. So if a student is using their Chromebook, say at home or even at school, and they search the word suicide, or they search the word bomb, or they search the word gun, then that's going to trigger a smart alert. And there are going to be alerts that are sent to the building principals, the guidance counselors at those locations, and also district leadership, so we can review and react on that. So I think that's a really good thing that we put in place. We're working with a third-party company to monitor social media. Right now that's limited to Twitter. So if we have certain triggers in Twitter that are geographically related to us, we get a report on that pretty much daily, so we can investigate that if there's a threat there. The digital parenting videos. We did a series of 3 videos recently, put those on our YouTube channel, also circulated that throughout social media. I think the last time we counted, Miss Megan told us we had over 3,000 views on those, something like that. So we felt like it was important, especially the tragic events surrounding what took place in our state and other states. So much of the communication that happens prior to those events and during those events and after those events happen through the devices and on social media. So I felt like it was important to just give some tools to our parents and our students on how they can properly use technology and use it in a responsible manner. And I think we did a really good job of doing that. So, strengths. Our wide area network is consisted of a partnership that we have with Henderson Municipal Power and Light. We're in year 4 of a 5-year agreement with them. That'll be up here in the next year. That has an opportunity to be renewed for another 5 years if it's mutually acceptable by both parties. We really appreciate that partnership. Very low rates for our fiber optic networks. The E-rate program has really allowed us to take advantage of the federal funds to do the infrastructure upgrades that I mentioned earlier. So right now we are getting reimbursed 90% of the money that we pay to Henderson Municipal Power and Light, for our fiber optic networks. And right now we are currently receiving 85% reimbursement on any investment that we make in our networking infrastructure. So it's just a no-brainer to take advantage of those programs. Like I said earlier, your support and the investments in our infrastructure has been great. Of course, we could not do anything without our dedicated faculty and staff. Mr. Gordon's led a tremendous effort in professional development opportunities for our teachers. We've attended several technical conferences, such as KISTI. We have a huge event here in the state of Kentucky at the end of this month called the Kentucky Go Digital event. That's second year for that event, and it's really growing. And the Hoosier Education Computers Consortium Tech Conference is a really good conference. It's close, it's local, it's relatively inexpensive, and we get a lot of bang for our buck for our teachers there. 76 plus now I think is the number on our G Suite certified teachers and staff, not only teachers. So this has kind of been a snowballing effect. We've had teachers just get busy at getting those certifications. Mr. Gordon's been leading the way on that. Super proud of everything they've done there. One of the things that you all invested in when we started the one-to-one initiative that has paid huge dividends is the dedicated digital learning coach. That's that shared position that we put at both South Middle School and North Middle School. Currently that's filled by Miss Stacy Fish. It's paid huge dividends for those teachers. I can't say enough about how good of a job that she's done, and our teachers are always commenting on that support and how it's needed. So our high-speed internet connection, the state pays for that for us. We're currently at 1 gig connection. That meets our needs right now, and of course our students. A couple of things I wanted to share with you here is, Ms. Robin, if you could click that one-to-one pictures link there. Hopefully it'll open up for you. So if you just want to open the first one there. This is some pictures, and I'm not sure if you all have had the opportunity to see these in action. If you open that one up, this was from the rollout at the middle schools, beginning of the school year, when they were getting their devices. I thought this was very interesting. They were really excited. Just scrolling through. We chose to go with the Lenovo Chromebooks. We have technicians and students getting their Lenovo certifications to help support those devices. Those are just a few of the 4,000 we currently have in our school system right now.
Students must really be on the ball if there was 15,000 applicants for the technology award. We have 2 state winners.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's another thing I wish I would have included in my presentation. The participation in the student technology leadership over the last few years has really grown in our district, and that's another thing to be very proud of. The Google Expeditions, real quick. This link is to Mr. Gordon's Twitter account. This is an opportunity our students get with a kit that we purchased as a district to allow them to learn in a virtual environment. I'm not sure if you have the sound on or not, but you can turn the sound on, it'd be great. If you hover over the picture itself, or over the video, yeah, hit the speaker.
Let me tell you about the tundra. It says the tundra covers the Arctic regions of the northern hemisphere. Hey, you might pick your viewfinder up.
They really get excited.
Hey, you want to go somewhere else? Hey, we're going to the temperate.
Basically, that's just another one of the tools in the toolboxes we've given our students to visit places in the world that they would never otherwise get the opportunity to visit. So just really cool things happening in technology in Henderson County schools, and I will be glad to answer any questions any of you may have.
They're not just visiting here in this world. I saw them visiting Mars when I was in the high school science room. They were what the Mars rover had shown, and I thought, we as adults now only got to see what Mars looked like, or we thought it looked like, in our science books. That was someone's made-up version. And now our students are using technology to actually see what Mars looks like. It's just wild.
Very good point. Thank you.
I think one of the things that I would like to mention is when we're in and out of schools, the middle schools, the kids, they take their Chromebooks everywhere they go. It's almost like they're an attachment. It's a textbook for every content that they need. And Ms. Johnson and Mr. Rush just make it their way of life now. And we're very excited to move that into the high school. Mr. Gordon, if you would stand also, you're very critical part in making all of this happen. And we appreciate your leadership and Mr. Bailey's leadership in leading that department. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
We do have another technology member here, Mr. Stephen Johnson. He's another one that joins us pretty much regularly at every single board meeting, so
he's my IT
recognize
man.
him too.
He's my personal IT man.
Thank you, Stephen.
You don't have any other questions? Thank you.
No, I will share with you, I attended a session at NSBA, the National School Board Convention, just 2 weeks ago. And one of them was one-to-one technology, what's next? And this was a school system in Utah. They have a total enrollment of approximately 6,800 students, so almost the exact same size as Henderson County. And they are taking what Ryan and Chris and Stephen have done and are moving it into the next generation. The key thing that they have initiated is they're taking their what we would call a curriculum specialist, and it's now blended into a curriculum technology specialist. So the two go hand in hand, so that the person in each building knows how to do the curriculum, but also knows how to blend it into technology and take it to that next generation. So almost every one of their used to be curriculum specialists are now curriculum/technology specialists.
And I agree. And as we move forward, we are looking at areas where we can not only just add head count, but how we can transform roles in Henderson County. As the world changes, we need to adapt and change as well. So we're meeting those needs of our students. So.
All right. Any other questions or comments, board members? Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to approve the plan. Back up here. We need to a motion to approve the Ed Tech plan for 2018-2019. Thank you, and I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Robin. Health coordination, Ms. Nancy?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. You have also in your packet the current report, school health. This is all of the work that our school nurses do in our school clinics. Currently, we have a nurse in every one of our facilities, and in some cases, a nurse assistant. And except for we have medication administration at Central, but we do not have an on-site RN or LPN. I think the data pretty well speaks for itself. It is updated from last year, but is very similar to last year. As far as attendance, our clinics play an integral role in keeping our attendance data acceptable.
Thank you. Any questions, board members? While some of those numbers are shocking that the conditions that our students have, it is nice to know that we have some medical personnel, people, and medication to help take care of them. Thank you very much. Moving on to old business. We have a second reading of policy 09.436, search and seizure. Mr. Steve?
Yes, ma'am. That's just, as a reminder, it's just an update. We worked with Ms. Beth on, Ms. Bird, and also KSBA, Ms. Katrina, to update our search and seizure policy.
Any questions or changes to that? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the second reading of policy 09.436, search and seizure. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to new business, legislative update. This ought to be fun. Ms. Margana?
Well, it will be brief. it's, we received information today. We receive information daily from KSBA. You all probably get those emails from Tom Shelton, our KASS person, a lot of times from Wayne Young. And today the message was primarily, they just finished session on Saturday and asked that we be a little bit patient as they read through and give us guidance as to not just what the words say in black and white, but what the meaning is behind all of those words. And then on Saturday, there was a House Bill 265 that was passed, and they feel like that there are some tweaks that will affect the budget bill out of that House bill that was passed. I can share with you that on Friday, we did send a delegation of 26 folks throughout the Henderson County schools, and all of those folks used their own money for travel, for gas, for food that day. Henderson County schools did not provide their transportation, and principals were amazing to find coverage in their schools, so we didn't use general fund money to provide a substitute for anybody that was missing. And I'm sure they did that by using maybe their guidance counselor would help cover a class or something like that. So I wanted to make sure that the board was aware that we did not use any money to send that delegation. And things that we've heard, these are heard, so they're all like in quotes, that we will not receive professional development money, textbook money, transportation, which will be funded as it was the prior year. And then just today, heard, again, it's not in writing yet, that even Henderson County will receive some of the coal severance money. But I don't know what that amount would be at this point. We will. So, sure. So really the update will probably be better in the next few days as those specific things start to unfold. And they really cautioned us to be careful that what it says in black and white and what the meaning is, and compare that with the House bill on Saturday. So I'll definitely send you all something via email by the end of the week.
I also heard at KSBA some of the technology, some of the schools across the country, other states like us, short on funds, are using their technology to do their professional development. Instead of sending people away, they're doing it either via a webinar or a one-to-one thing, bringing people in, but they're using that technology because they don't have any more money than we do for PD. So a new way to do it. Thank you, Ms. Morgana. Moving on to, we need to schedule Superintendent's capstone project.
And last year, we looked up to see how we did this last year, and we decided that we would meet at 5 o'clock in the May meeting, so that would be May 21st. I would request that we meet at 5 o'clock from 5 to 5:45 for the capstone project, and regular board meeting at 6, if that works for the board.
Want to get a chance to check the calendar? Is that May 21st at 5 o'clock work for everyone? Yes? Okay. I'm sorry? May the 21st, Monday, May 21st at 5 a.m., 5 p.m. 5 a.m. 5 p.m. You're going to be out of town. Do we want to set this for another day? Mr. Wall will not be in attendance. Ms. Morgana. I can live without you at the board meeting, but I don't want to live without you at the capstone project.
You can't live without me at all.
Well,
I will be
okay,
back.
we won't go there, but yeah.
I'll be back that third. I can't change that, but that's Sally's plan. You know how that goes. Can't change the Sally's plan.
Now she pipes up. Monday the 14th.
Be okay with me?
What time do we want to do that? Do we want to do it at 5 o'clock? Yes, could we do that at 5 o'clock? Can we do 5:30? 5:30, would that help? So So 5:30 on the 14th. Up. Okay, I'm going to start raising my hands here. You can't do it on the 14th? What about the 15th? That's Tuesday. Okay. Okay, you pick a day. You and Mike sit over there, get your heads together and pick a day.
Oh, I just said I can't be here the 21st because Sally was, and now I got it from that end over here. If you want to go ahead and keep it on the 21st, fine.
Yes.
I can catch up. I
We can.
guarantee it. I really can.
Yeah, because we're not doing the superintendent's evaluation until June.
After the capstone presentation, I would give you all the documentation and forms, and then you guys usually spend 2 weeks and get it to you, and then public on the June meeting, yes.
Okay, so we can get the information to Mr. Mike.
Sure.
Okay.
Steven, can you video this capstone process?
Oh, you ought to do that.
No. I can give you all the handouts you want. I can give you all the handouts you want.
No superintendent video for that. Okay, so we're back to the 21st at 5 o'clock. And Mr. Waller will get his information manually. Okay. Gracious. Okay, so moving on to, oh, see, do we need, why is there an action requirement? This, I don't think we, do we need to set that as a special board meeting? Okay, so I need a motion to set a special board meeting for May the 21st at 5 p.m. Thank you, and I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Ms. Beth, is that done in closed session? Because it's not part of the superintendent's. Okay. Okay, so that will be part of another meeting if you want boards to attend. Okay. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda, which has bid recommendations, student fees for 2018-2019, shortened day for one special ed student, student overnight trip request, school activity fundraiser request, auditor's contract, grant applications, retiree resolutions, and use of school buses. Any of those items need to be pulled or discussed? Hearing none, I'll look for motion to approve the, oh, I'm sorry.
Just a question. I remember we had a couple of requests for student fees throughout the year. Is this going to be comprehensive, the 2018-19 school year? I just want...
I asked the principals to submit any fees for the 2018-2019.
Right.
And this is the list that they submitted.
Okay. So we just need to be really careful. I hate it when parents see the fees up front, they prepare for them, they pay for them, and through the year, if other things come up, you know, we need to stick to our policy on that one.
So we're just asking to stick to the fee schedules listed on this one. Is that correct? What?
I take that back. It was fundraisers. Fundraisers.
Yes, okay. So I look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed.
Make that motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Dr. Sutton. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to financial, the treasurer's report, Ms. Cindy.
The treasurer's report for the month ending in March included total receipts of $4,120,983 and total expenses of $5,230,378 for a net decrease in all funds of $1,109,395. Any question on the treasurer's report?
Madam Chair, members of the board, I respectfully request your approval of the treasurer's report as submitted this evening by Cindy Cloutier.
Look for a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Thank you, Mr. Mike. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Dr. Sugg. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer's report approved. Moving on to paid warrants, Ms. Cindy.
The paid warrant report covers the period of March 20th through April the 16th. It includes total paid warrants of $2,895,427.66. Any questions on any of the paid warrants?
Madam Chair, member of the board, I respectfully request your approval of the paid warrant report as submitted this evening by Cindy Cloutier.
Look for a motion to approve the paid warrant report and pays the bills. Thank you, Mr. Mike. I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Pay the bills, Ms. Cindy. Also be noted that we have received information for personnel actions. And we're going to thank most of you all for coming because we're going into executive session. Thank you. We need to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.8101B for deliberations for future acquisitions of sale or real property. So you make that motion and I'll second that. All in favor say aye.